Hi, this is Neil, and welcome to Super Trainer Blog. And in today's session, I'm going to share with you an SEO update and show you specifically some very ninja strategies and tools to help you build an online sales funnel. So here's what we're going to cover in today's live version of the webinar. I'm going to show you 2 quick Google updates for your business and how these new updates may have an impact on your traffic and online presence for your fitness business. I'm going to share with you symptoms that you may not be getting enough leads or traffic from your websites. And literally what I've done is I've been observing and doing a lot of market research lately and trying to answer one quick common question as to what's preventing you from maybe not getting all the traffic and leads you deserve. And finally, today, I want to show you how to protect your most important lead generation asset, which is your website, and talk a little bit about what's happened to 4 of my clients over the last month or the last 2 months, and how you can prevent that, and we can make the best of your website and make sure that we're protecting it like any asset in your business. Okay, so the first update that I want to share with you today is called the evolution of site links. Okay, so if you look at what I have for you, Google recently launched the Google Site Links Index, and on their blog post on August 16th, they revealed what site links are and how it's going to help you improve your site. Now, very briefly, if you notice, if you type in certain websites, for example, if you type in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, okay, what typically happened is that links would appear directly under that page, okay, and you typically get exhibitions, general information, plan your site, so you get more than one link appearing under your website. And what it did was it expanded that link and give you more real estate space on page 1 of Google. So you have a super listing or you have sub listings under your main site when people search for you. Now, this is what site links look like before changes, okay? And that's one way of actually presenting the site links. So you'd have different subcategories in your site showing up. Another way Google showed the links for a website, now this is a site that's really doing well and obviously getting more than just the domain showing up. Google showed their site links side by side on the affiliate sites, or they showed them side by side when they appeared in the search results. So you could either have that way of viewing it, or you could appear side by side. And basically the objective was to get more real estate space. Now, what Google has done is, and what they've recently released, and you probably be noticing it as you type in the search engines, that they rearrange them into a column of links. So instead of showing them side by side site links, they're showing them into columns, and I'll give you an example in a second. Creating direct access to more of the website. We started showing site links for more results, and we continuously made improvements of the algorithm that generate and ranks links. With each of these changes, people use site links more and more. Okay, so this post is directly from the Google blog. So if you go and type in Google blog, you'll actually find this post and them describing the site links. So here's what it was before they started off. So I just want to give you a quick example of this. If I type in Chi-Town Bootcamps and helping out Chi-Town Bootcamps in Chicago with their website, you'll notice the site links are not appearing side by side anymore. You'll notice that Google is showing more real estate space for the blog. So you'll see under Chi-Town Bootcamps, Bootcamp Basics, blog, setting goals, Chicago Gym, diets, fitness bootcamp Chicago. And then you'll also notice underneath this is that Google is pulling in some pictures for the reviews, showing where the location is and what the location looks like. Now, you can imagine when someone types in your company name, or over time when they search for you, Google shows or displays your results in the column. What do you think that people are going to be starting to search for, or which site do you think they'll actually search for? Okay, so number one, your site will make more sense and you will actually get more traffic this way in the long term. But the trick is you need to be some sort of an authority blog or some sort of established blog. The second trick is you want to make sure that, if you'll notice here, although I'm showing you this example, this is typically not what we want showing up in the Google index. We want them to show about us, contact us, where to find us, more information. So obviously Google is pulling in things they deem appropriate. So what I'm going to be working on is trying to start to optimize certain pages so that appears in the site links. But what's also very interesting is it's pulling pictures from your Google Places review. Okay, so if your Google Places review is optimized, you'll notice the Places review is optimized to the site well enough, your pictures will automatically start appearing. And this is very good because people like visual elements or visual displays on your website. Okay, so this is one smart way, or very interesting way, is if you start silo structuring your blog or optimizing your blog and then building links to specific pages, Google will now start showing your website in a column format and giving you more real estate space. So this is a big change, and obviously this is going to be something really huge strategy to help you, if you optimize your blog properly and build links with the structure properly, to get more real estate space when people search for you and your website. So the next step I would strongly suggest for you to do right now is, go ahead and type your site in Google, see what results are showing up for your site, and then just make a few bullet points of how you want to change it and what additional information you want popping up so you get as much real estate space as possible. Okay, so the second update I want to give you is something extremely important, which I think is going to change the face of Google local results as time goes on. So all of you know what Google Local is, right? So Google Local is, you claim your Google Local Places in Google. It's not your website. So when someone types in the keyword, Google sometimes show Google Local listings instead of your website results. Okay, now let me take a step back and tell you why this is such an important change. All of you have heard about Groupon. Some of you may have run Groupon campaign. Some of you may have used the daily deal site Groupon and got a ton of business, and some of you may just hate it, where you've run it, you got people that came in, didn't take you up on the upsells and the offers, and you're just tired of Groupon, and Groupon's not working for your business. But what I want you to do for the next 2 minutes is put that thought aside, because I want to show you whether you use Google's version of Groupon. So Google has just released Google Offers, which is their version of Groupon. Okay, so irrespective of whether you use Google Offers or not, I'm going to show you why it's going to be important from an SEO, or why it might be important from an SEO perspective going forward. Now, I don't have concrete data with this, but I'm going to share with you a quick little story and tell you how this can impact you. So literally this week, I got into contact with Google, and I'm trying to run a Google offer for Shaitan Bootcamp. Now, again, Google Offers is Google's version of Groupon. Now, what Google is doing is it's launching Google Offers in the fall of this year, in the fall of 2011. And one of the benefits of doing that is that now they're contacting specific businesses. So they may have contacted you yet, not very sure, but they're contacting specific businesses that they want to launch their Google Offers program for. So they're looking at the big cities, they're looking for very specific small business owners. So if you're one of the small business owners that's lucky enough to be part of this, it's going to create tremendous buzz for you and your business. And the main reason for that is that Google gets so much of press anyway. When they launch this, automatically you're going to get press for your local business as well as part of that. So there's one advantage from a branding perspective even if you decide not to use Google Offers. Okay. Now, here's what's happening with Google Offers that you're going to hear first time on Super Trainer first than any other blog out there, and you're going to see why we're spending time bringing you cutting edge information every week. You'll notice this page. Now, this Google offer, they did a beta test in Portland and they stopped it, right? So if you'll notice how Google is setting up their Google Offers, they're linking it to Google Local Places. Okay, so if you notice here, what Google is doing is that they are going out, they're taking your offer, whatever the offer is, whatever your website is, and they're now integrating your Google Local pages inside this offer. So not only can someone come here and look at the offer, they can also click in this and they can go directly to your Google Local Places page account. Now, my suspicion is, and obviously I don't have a lot more data than this, rather than an educated gut level experience with this, is that, this could impact your Google local places going forward. Because very simply, it could, if you're getting a link from your Google Office page and if there's thousands of people coming to your Google Office page, I think that's going to automatically maybe a factor in giving you a ranking boost to your local Google Places page. If anything, it'll put you on the map for doing that. Now, if you notice in Portland, this business had 2 separate Google Local Places pages. So you can pretty much open up, have all your Google Local sites included in this map. And obviously with the link back, it may have a huge SEO impact on that. So for any other reason, getting your Places page claimed in here is a good methodology or process to go through, maybe to have some impact. The next idea I want to share with you when talking to Google and why I found this different is that if you click on this button, look inside, Google is now giving you a 3D view, map view of your entire little, in this case, coffee shop or your local business. So if they think your business is the right fit, Google is coming out and at their expense, they're taking 3D photographs, 3D pictures of your place, and they're putting it inside this little Google Office page that they actually build for you. So what this means is, number one, you get free publicity. Number two, people, before they buy the offer, they can actually take a tour of your facility. So think about the marketing and branding impact this is going to have. Now, my goal is not to teach you marketing and branding. Sorry, not to teach you branding. Branding doesn't make money or bring in the results. But if someone comes to this page and want to get more information about your site, they're going to definitely want to look at what the experience is going to be inside your shop before they buy a coupon. So having these 3D maps or having these 3D pictures taken and Google promoting this for you directly in the Google Office page, I think is what's going to set these daily deal or Google, these daily Google offers, daily deal type offers apart from other competitors in the marketplace. And look, Google has a huge list and they have a huge impact when they promote something. And if anything, even if the Google Office don't work very well, what's going to happen for you is that you're going to have the ability to get some Google Places ranking and also to get some pictures and to get some promotion for your local website. Okay, so that was the first part of this month's section. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to flip directly into what probably the biggest question that I get from my clients and non-clients as to why the website is not generating enough leads. So when I put this presentation together, what I thought about was to share 4 simple little tips with you. And I'm going to keep it very, very simple and share 4 simple tips with you. So if you can answer these 4 questions, so I'm going to do a little diagnosis for you and help you think through how to figure out whether you're getting enough leads and whether that's converting for you. So if you can keep these 4 areas or 4 tips at the back of your mind every single day and every single time you do your online marketing, this is definitely going to help you move in the right direction or the right step in order to get you the traffic or convert that traffic. Okay, so think of us going to a doctor, and the first thing the doctor is going to do is, before they prescribe a solution, they're going to ask you a few questions to diagnose the problem. So let's go and diagnose the problem. So the first question that I have for my private clients when I take them on as to figure out whether they're getting traffic or not is, do you have a goal? Okay, the main goal of any website is to attract people and obviously to invite them to get more involved in your business over time. You want your visitors to stick around and eventually to buy what you're actually selling them. But before you do that, do you have a primary goal? So you see, most of us have multiple goals or action steps that we want to take. But do you have a primary goal on your site? And if I ask you this question right now, can you actually tell me what that primary goal is? And are you actually having a look at that primary goal? So here's the first question to ask yourself. Okay, when someone visits your site, what is the goal and what action do you want them to take? So if you ask this question, what action do you want anyone to take on your site? will help you come up with the right goal to help you diagnose whether you're getting enough traffic or not. Typically, my clients have a few goals. One of the goals could be traffic. Traffic means the number of people that comes to a site. The second goal could be conversion on the site. Or you may be more interested in cache or conversions of the site. So, whatever the primary goal is, you need to figure out what it is. Right now, here's what I want you to do next. If you don't have a goal, I want you to figure out what that goal is. So take a minute, pause this video if you need to, but the first thing I want you to do is to actually figure out what is your goal and write it down right now. And what are you trying to accomplish? Because if you don't have a specific goal or a number or you don't know what action you want potential clients to take, could be the first reason why you have a leaky bucket and you have people not sticking or taking action on your website. Okay, the second most important thing I want to discuss with you is the idea of content. So if you're not getting traffic, there's a huge discrepancy in the content that you actually have on your site. Now, the most important thing is that if your site is not continually evolving or updating, it's going to end up being more of a brochure site. So if you don't have any regular updated content such as blog pages, Google has nothing to index on your site. The more stuff you have on your site, the more Google has to index, the more traffic it's going to send to your site. Okay, so what I did is I went and took a quick research study from HubSpot. So those of you who don't know, HubSpot's a huge market company online, and they pretty much sell blogs and different types of services to small business owners. And they're a huge multi-million-dollar company. And every now and again, they do research. And one of their researches, which was called Lead Generation Lessons from 4,000 Businesses. So here's what HubSpot did is, they based a study on real data from 4,000 business. And they want to understand how lead volume is based on a wide variety of factors, ranging from social media to blogging frequency to online content. Okay, so they went out and they interviewed these 4,000 business owners, and they asked, what is the biggest factor that drive leads or the most amount of leads on your website? So here's the results of the survey. By the way, you can go directly to HubSpot.com and you can go and download this free research report. Okay, and it's got some very interesting information that is certainly going to help you move your business to the next level. But here's an important point that I want to share with you right now, which I think is very important in helping you get more traffic in the short term if traffic is one of your major concerns right now. Okay, so what they found was business websites that have 401 to 1,000 pages generate 6 times more leads than sites with 51 to 100 pages. Okay, so let's take these numbers to break them down. Let's just say you had 100 web pages on your site and you got 100 leads from your site on the monthly basis. Okay, if you had 400 leads on your site, you can possibly generate, if you had 400 to 1,000 pages on your site of content, you can generate 600 leads versus 100 leads on your website. Now, the difference could be around 500 leads a month, right? Let's just take out 500, and let's say each customer is what, $97. That's a difference of almost $48,500 a month in potential traffic that's costing you every single month to get going. Now, I know my math is not right here, but if you can convert those into clients, you're generating over $40,000 to $50,000 extra every year in revenue. The point that I want to make to you is that, after looking at this in different ways, the single biggest factor that's going to result in more lead generation online is the number of content that you're going to have on your site. Okay, and Google likes indexing content, and the more pages it's going to index, as a natural result of that, you're automatically going to get more leads. So here's the second diagnosis that I want you to look at. I want you to write down one number for me. So a little exercise for you. Do you know the number of web pages on your site? Okay, so do yourself a favor, write out the number of web pages that you have on your website, and then what I want you to do is I want you to keep adding pages to your site just for 30 days. Okay, just do that for 30 days, and then look at your Google Analytics report, and then look at the traffic value that you have on your site, and you'll see the correlation between pages and the amount of traffic that you're getting on a weekly or daily basis. Okay, if the word optimization on optimized pages means talking in another alien language to you, then this is the next reason why you're not getting as much traffic as you potentially deserve. Look, as a small business owner, unfortunately, there's a certain words or certain terminology that we need to understand. Now, I'm going to make a very important distinction here. There's certain types of words we need to understand. Doesn't mean that you need to go and do the work, but it's important for you to understand certain types of key factors that's going to have an impact on your marketing. And then what you do is you can go out and outsource this to your consultant or to your virtual assistant to make sure they're implementing the right things in your business so your traffic will get boost. So if the word optimized pages sounds like alien speak to you, this is one of the reasons you may have a leaky funnel or you're not getting the traffic you need. So what does optimization actually means, and what optimization gives you the most amount of traffic? After thinking about this and looking at it, there's literally a few things you need to be aware of. Literally 2 things you need to be aware of to make a dramatic improvement in the amount of traffic you're getting over the next 30 to 60 days. And the first word you need to understand is the word keywords. Okay, so keywords is important because if you have a web page on your site and if no one's actually searching for it or don't use the right, so if no one is searching for it, you're not going to get traffic. Or if someone is searching for the word Chicago Bootcamp and you don't have a page on your site that has the word Chicago Bootcamp in it, it's actually not going to make much sense because Google is going to show other pages of your competitors and send them the traffic. So the first thing is your pages optimized to get you the traffic? It's a very simple question, but you'll be surprised if you go and do an audit on your website right now and look at some of the pages you have. I find this such an it appears like it's the most common problem why most people don't get traffic. I will almost guarantee you one of the biggest reasons that most business owners never get the traffic is because they don't have the keywords either in the title or the content of the page. So they're not optimizing the page so that Google can index it and find it fast and send you the traffic you deserve. So the first thing, very quickly, is to go and look at the pages on your blog and see how many pages has optimized content in there. Okay, did you put a meta description? Did you put a title tag? Do you have keywords in the title and the body of the content? And the second thing is, if you've hired someone to do some link building or to get your pages to rank high in Google, and you don't have anchor text links that has the keywords pointing back to your blog, at least 50% of the anchor text link that has the keywords pointing to your blog, chances are no matter how much of work you do and what you do, your pages never seem to rank. Okay, so this is the two most important factors that I want to share with you right now that can make an important difference in your ranking and more importantly getting you traffic over the next 30 to 60 days. So here's what you need to do. You need to do yourself and spend 10 or 15 minutes or hire a VA to do an audit for you. Go back and look at the pages you have on the website. Does it have optimized pages? And then the links you built or already spent thousands of dollars hiring VA and other assistants to build, are those links optimized in a way that have the right anchor text that gives you the right rankings? Okay, because if you do these 2 things, what you'll end up finding is that your site can be easily found in the Google index and will rank fast. Okay, and the 4th diagnosis that I want to reveal to you, and if you don't know this, this could be one of the reasons why your site is not ranking high, or you don't know why your site is ranking high, is are you measuring accounting? Seriously, when I ask my clients or take on new clients, the first thing I do is I ask them for the Google Analytics report. And you will be surprised how many times that Google Analytics is installed on their website, but it's installed incorrectly, meaning it's not tracking all of the pages, or that no one's had a look at it, and you do not understand where your numbers are coming from. So if you're not weighing or countering or measuring, you can't fix something if you don't know what the problem is. So here's the trick: is you literally only have to measure 2 or 3 things, and that's it. Okay, the first metric is traffic. Are you getting enough traffic to your site? If you can do that, then you obviously have the right measurement or the tool to know whether you have a traffic problem on your blog. If you have the right traffic, are you getting the conversion? And finally, if you don't want to measure conversion and cache is important to you, are you looking into your account on a daily basis, or are you looking at the number of people you have and how much of cache is that bringing given the amount of work and time you're spending on your blog? Now, the trick here is not to measure if you're getting started off or if you have a brand new blog. You want to start off in the right hierarchy. And what I mean by that, if you're looking at your cache every day, which you should be looking once a month at least, maybe it's the wrong metric when you have a brand new blog because you don't have a proper sales cycle yet. So the trick is to figure out where your business maturity is, how mature is your business, and then first start off with the most important metric. Start off with analyzing what is your traffic numbers. Once you get an understanding of that, then you can move on to your conversion. You can start working on your conversion, and then finally looking at your cache, whether it's supporting the traffic and conversion that you're bringing in. Okay, so the goal here is to start simply, to start measuring one metric and to make it a habit so that you can easily diagnose where the problems are in your business. So those 4 metrics that I shared with you today, right now, is one of the 4 reasons why you're not getting enough traffic or you're not getting enough cache. And if you can slowly fix these 4 things, it's the only things you need to know to start building a sales funnel and optimizing your sales funnel, and you'll be back in the black again. Okay, and then finally, in this month's session, I want to share with you an important tip or technique or strategy that's happened to at least 4 of my clients in the last month, and a few clients before that. And I want you to spend the next 5 minutes walking through this with me. So I don't want you to make the same mistake and you end up in the same position. For a few of my clients, they lost the first place ranking, meaning the sites went down to page 2, page 3, and more importantly, some of my clients, for a few weeks, their sites vanished from the Google index. So they were ranking number 1 or ranking number 4 or whatever position they were ranking, and the entire websites got de-indexed from Google. Now, let me be very clear about this. There are multiple reasons why this could happen. Okay, it could be you doing everything right, and for some strange reason, Google indexed your site correctly, didn't like it, made a ranking algorithm change, and automatically moved your site away from Google. So, it could be not even your fault, but the issue is it may just happen to you, and it's happened to some of my top producing clients in the fitness industry, and I do not want you to experience this. Okay, so how do we fix this issue? So let's assume this may happen to you, or this literally could happen to you down the line. So how do you go back and fix the issue? So the first thing we did was to bring these sites back is we looked at the Google Webmaster Tools report. Now, if you don't know what Google Webmaster Tools report is it's a report that actually it's a free report from Google, and basically Google does an audit of your website and gives you an idea of what could go wrong in your website. Okay, so most of typically what happens, you may have some broken links, some old links or pages that you moved. You may have some links that don't relate to your business and you want to delete those from bad neighborhoods. But typically the way to solve this problem, if your site gets de-indexed, is to look at your Google Webmaster Tools report, fix the issue, and then add more high quality unique content to your blog immediately. And then what you should typically do is you should ping your website. Okay, so why am I telling you this if your site hasn't got de-indexed or you don't have any problems with your site? I'm telling you this because it's just a matter of time before this could happen to you. I've had blogs for years and it's happened to me. Okay, so I want you to prevent the situation from happening. So here's what I want you to do, is to make sure you always have a backup of your website. Now, a lot of people will tell you, consultants will tell you, oh, your website's backed up, and that's all good news. My question for you is that, have you ever tested the backup, and can you restore it if your site ever gets deleted or hacked into? Okay, if you don't, you should definitely go and test the backup of your site right now. I know HostGator sells a backup solution, and it's absolutely or relatively very cheap. And they come in and they back up your site every single night. So you probably want to look into that. The second thing is, if you haven't got this already, you want to install Google Webmaster Tools into your account. Now let me be very clear. Google Webmaster Tools is very different from Google Analytics. Google Analytics tells you about your traffic. Google Webmaster Tools gives you some more insight as to your pages, your structure, your links, and information you're going to need to fix on your blog. Now, even if your blog doesn't get hacked or broken, every 3 months you should be looking at your Google Webmaster Tools account to go and fix up things that are broken, so you always get better and better performance and ranking. Okay, and finally, the biggest tip I want to give you is, if your site gets hacked or gets de-indexed and you cannot find it, you have the option to go to Google and issue what they call a Google Webmaster request, or the technical term is you file a Google reconsideration request for your website. So you go to Google, you type in reconsideration request or type in Google Webmaster Tools. You can go make an application and say, Google, my site got de-indexed. Can you look at it and bring my site back up? And what Google will do is they will look or consider your reconsideration request. And if the problem still exists, they're not going to bring your site up. And what you'll find very frustrating is Google will not tell you what's wrong with your site. They're not in the business of doing that. So before you even go and file a Google reconsideration request, fix the problem yourself first. It's worthwhile contacting someone. Contact Sam. You can contact me. We'll gladly have a look at it for you. And you need to figure out what's wrong and fix that first. Typically, if you fix the problems and you add more content and links, your site will come back, so you don't need to file a Google reconsideration request. The reason I tell you is that Google reconsideration request is a last-ditch attempt you would have to get your site back. And the reason for that is that you're basically telling Google, look, I've done something wrong, even if you have not. And then Google, obviously has got the site on the radar. So you typically want to stay away from that and not do that. Because a lot of times what I find is that people go and file a reconsideration request not fixing the site, and the site takes longer and longer and longer to eventually ever come back again. Okay, so that's it for this month's session, the SEO session of Super Trainer. Thanks a lot for listening to this all the way to the end. I appreciate it. So here's what I want you to do next. If you could please leave me a comment directly underneath this video in your Facebook stream or in the blog stream, I'd certainly appreciate it. And let me know what you'd like to see in the future webinars for Super Trainer, specifically from an SEO perspective. What additional challenges that you are having, what additional content that you can get from me, whether it's case studies, examples, that you will find extremely beneficial to your business, and we'll look at that and make sure we try to provide you with high quality content and updated information.